This is the seventh message that mankind has received from the future. We know more about their world now. The problem is how to put it all together for a coherent picture. And the big change, as they call it, is still a mystery. The messages in the form of newsletters are issued by an organization called the Society, a happiness company. Why we get them is still anybody's guess. The message: I was strolling down the street the other day, just as we imagine contented people strolling down the street. The Society promotes the well known ways people seem happy. You need to start somewhere, folks. This is for free. Halfway down the block, an idea occurred to me. A lot of people are tired, just plain tuckered out. It's basically as simple as that. The greatest truths remain simple. How they do it in today's world is anybody's guess. Surprisingly, it hasn't been investigated. The more I think about it, the more I think we should make a note of that. Craig, where are you? He must have gone on one of his little excursions. I hate to make the notes myself, it's so sidetracking. But I think that this time it's definitely worth it. How simple ideas manage, alone and virtually without aid, to stay simple when everything around them falls prey to the complexities of modern life and postmodern for you literary buffs out there. Why is this letter coming in now before we've made our introduction? Craig's back. He says he doesn't know. Letter. So, how long have spiders been making noises? As far as science can determine, they've always made noises. Yes, that's right, Craig. They just learned to keep it down. Letter. I mean, like, is it true that you folks have a reassuring, guiding essence? You have to in this business. Letter. Doesn't language have a lot to do with things? That's what I always thought. Things can't do without language anymore. No, Craig, I don't think that things want to go back to how it was before. Yes, language made things a lot better. Grunting can only get you so far. Beep. Alert. Something just happened, possibly an iteration of the big change. Forget what was just said. We'll begin this issue of the newsletter anew. No, Craig, I don't mean old. Okay, then, the next item. In order to show how far we're willing to go in the direction of free speech, we'll present an ex member's ideas that we found so repugnant, some of us, Craig said, that we gave him the boot. What this ex member did was argue that ideas should be taken seriously, which we, some of us, Craig says, of course agree with. But his reasoning was as follows: send the kids out of the room. Even if we do look at life as a game, we could still take it seriously because there's nothing wrong with taking games seriously. In fact, it's a national pastime. Now, wasn't there slur? Sorry, but that's the appropriate word for it. A heck of a thing. Craig, of course, who loves to see himself as an outsider, refuses to condemn this quite as heartily as the rest of us. What's that? He says he will to a certain extent. He hates to see people so tense they could break black walnuts with their front teeth. On the other hand, our man of the hour says that the other day he was winning a game of leapfrog, the only game he's really any good at, and his opponent began to treat the whole thing like a cakewalk. Hee hee. What, letters? We haven't finished our subject yet. It came down from on high? Oh, all right. Letter. I mean, who are our country's adversaries now? It's a positive sign that in our opinion, that people are interested enough to ask that question. We'll have to get back to you on it. Letter. This might seem like a funny thing to say, but I feel like kind of an expert at giving advice. I mean, I'm not saying I know a lot. I don't, and should probably learn more so I really know what I'm talking about. I admit it. For God's sake, don't let lack of knowledge stop you. There are too few like you out there. We can't afford to lose any. All right, we can get back to our subject now. I think we can all agree that Craig doesn't have a leg to stand on. The fact is, if games shouldn't be taken seriously, then you can't very well blame somebody when they stop taking one seriously if they begin losing. Plus, as Craig very well knows, many people don't think ideas about life itself can be taken seriously, which, of course, leaves only games to take out their seriousness on. What, again? We haven't finished with Craig's story yet. Okay, I understand. We have received a series of missives of an urgency rarely known even around here. The following letters are from Only the Lonely. Letter. Isn't there mystical dancing and gyrating there at the society headquarters at night to wild drum beats? Not anymore, but we have ballroom dancing in the basement Sunday afternoons between 1 and 2 p.m. Yes, Craig, we had rumba for a while, but it was thought that it delivered the wrong message. Letter. I'm like, thank God for gig jobs. God always has something up his sleeve. Letter. I, for one, am glad that we're not bothered by the absurdity of the human condition like we used to be. Suffering came to our rescue. Is that all? All right, we can continue with Craig's story. He says he thinks we should be serious about big matters, but not little ones. Now, isn't that sweet? Craig, don't you realize that the most highly esteemed Eastern religions hold that people's problems would be solved if they just learned to take small matters as seriously as the big ones? Craig, I hate to repeat what he just said, but our unstinting devotion to truth and freedom of expression must necessarily offset even the most god-awful queasiness. Craig maintains that maybe back in olden times, when in Eastern religion areas of the world, people tended to be careless in small matters, and their leaders were trying to whip them into shape with religion, whereas we Westerners had the details of life down pat from the get-go and could afford to let up a little with them and work more assiduously on the big picture. And we had religions appropriate for the task of whipping us into shape. That's Craig, not me. Oh, Craig. He said it's widely known that we from the West are such good, hard-headed people that we're actually proud of not knowing what's going on in the world and are perfectly satisfied with leaving it to the experts. One thing I should mention is that it's hard to tell when the little vagabond is being serious. he can get an expression on his face that would put Mona Lisa to shame. The letters. Letter. I mean, why can't you just give a simple, honest answer to a question instead of beating around the bush? Because we're moderates. Letter. I heard that people are becoming more unequal and the public sector is being privatized. Why is that? Craig? He says it's because we're becoming more democratic. I don't know why he finds that so funny. Our enemies proved that if people get to be too equal, the government becomes totalitarian. Craig says that it was the German philosopher Hannah Arendt who taught us that. What? He says that I got it wrong. Whatever you say, Mr. Smarty Pants. He. Letter. A friend said she never knew anyone as deluded as me, and I don't know what to think. Are you sure she really said it? Letter. Which is best, to admit that you were wrong about something or try to twist what you said before so it won't seem like you were wrong? It depends on how nimble you are. If you have a good track record at twisting what you said, then go for it, definitely. But too many people who have repeatedly failed in the attempt can't seem to learn their lesson. As terrible as it is to have to admit that you were wrong, the struggle to seem like you weren't can, over time, permanently twist your facial features. What's that, Craig? Oh, Craig. He says that some facial features can use a little twist. That is so unkind. What? Last one? Okay. Letter. I'm like, is it true that the Society's great headquarters building there has, palladian windowed views on the floors that are low enough to be appreciated from ground level and high enough for grand vistas? Yes. On the sides of the building with the views where nature delivers the goods and haunting dreamlike beauty predominates.